Hey there. Hey there. So glad to see you coming in today. I'm so excited to be introducing you to a new friend, a new guest, Annette Dalou, all the way from Paris. Hey, Annette, how are you?
I'm great, Anne. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I've been really, really looking forward to this. Akashic Records is such a hot topic, right? So,
Very much so. Yeah.
yeah, and I met Annette, a couple months ago, I guess. It's been a few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Where Annette, I think, found me, if I remember correctly.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to be a guest on Paris Underground Radio, which is her podcast. It's absolutely amazing. You need to check it out. You can access it through your website, right? Infinite
That
Soul
is
Love.
correct. Yeah, it's the name of the show is called The Heart of You, and so you can access it through my website. You can also access it through Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts, basically.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I actually checked it out this morning and I went, we had such a great conversation.
We
And
did. It was really great.
it really was. It flowed along really nicely. And we were sort of, I went through and I looked at all your podcasts and going like 30 minutes, 60, what?
And then ours was like super long.
Yeah, but it was
Well,
great. And a lot of people listened and it was good. It was really good.
well, I was so fascinated. I learned so much from you as well during the interview.
Oh,
So yeah, it was enriching for me as well.
awesome. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. So today we're going to be talking about Akashic Records and why would you even want to access your Akashic Records? And so Annette has agreed to be a guest speaker in the Master Number 11 membership group coming up in April, at the end of this month, on the 25th of April. It's a Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday, April 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing a full version, part one. We're doing two parts to this. So if you're
Two
really
parts.
interested in
Yeah.
Akashic Records, this is a big topic. I just didn't think we could do it in just one episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we started doing the outline, I was like, actually, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information.
Well, we want
And
to
it's
deliver,
also,
right?
yeah. And it's also a lot for people to take in. So sometimes it is good to give a little break and so you can absorb and really integrate the information you're getting and then, go on to the next information.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're kind of excited because it's a topic that we're all kind of passionate about. I mean, I do obviously numerology, and that's all related to our previous lifetimes and what we've chosen to bring forward with us in
Right.
this lifetime. And Annette helps to kind of crack those codes even further by accessing the Akashic records. So maybe, Annette, we should sort of do a little bit of an explanation as to what are the Akashic records? Like what exactly does that mean for the layman who's not familiar with this?
So most people would more commonly know the Akashic Records as the Book of Life.
Okay.
So it's essentially, it's not an actual physical book. It is an energetic book
Yeah.
of everything that anybody has experienced in your current lifetime, past lives. Places have Akashic records. Pretty much everything on our planet has an Akashic record. So it is the energetic signature, the energetic imprint, whatever you want to call it essentially, but it's the recording of everything that has happened. And so basically accessing your Akashic records, whether it is a talent that you have and that you would like to develop, or if it is you're getting, let's say, a session with me and you're having somebody else do it, either way, it's just super powerful to be able to have this information to know where you came from.
I love this. And I love that you said that everything holds Akashic records, like places and things. And
Yeah.
I recently I'm actually in the process of doing a program with a gal, Fiona Black, and we're doing the Akashics related to my business, the history
Right.
of the business. And it's great because you just, and I'm sure you're doing the same. It's like you blow up the obstacles that may have held you back in the previous lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
new.
And the thing is that and especially as long as you've had your business, and it depends on we had talked about in the numerology when you're choosing the name of your business and that sort of thing. And if you've had similar things that you've done in previous lifetimes. So a lot of our natural gifts that we have in this lifetime, they're not new to us.
No.
They're here for a reason.
Well,
And it
yeah.
helps you sort of tap into that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you and I were talking earlier, I mean, you came up, you grew up outside of Detroit, grew up a
Yep.
good Catholic girl, Probably this woo-woo stuff was, completely taboo. I can only
It
imagine.
was very
Yeah.
much so, yeah.
But you still felt a calling to it. And I can
Mhm.
relate to that as a child too. I mean, when I think back between the ages of 0 and 7, I just desperately wanted to connect to spirit. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought connecting to spirit meant going to church and eating arrowroot cookies and drinking apple juice and talking about Jesus. That's what I thought it was all about, right? I had no idea.
Right.
But I was really called to it, and it wasn't until I was well into probably my 40s before I really, really tapped into all of it. So
Yeah.
it's funny how your previous lifetime experiences, they don't, they're always kind of niggling at you and speaking to you, but it takes a while to get
Yeah. Yeah, I talk about sometimes how, when I first started really being interested in tarot, I was probably about 21, somewhere around there, and, um, totally freaked myself out because, yes, of course, the whole Catholic upbringing,
there.
they instill a whole lot of fear, whole
Yeah.
lot of fear.
Lots of guilt.
So, but like you said, I was always fascinated as well, but it was like I picked them up, I picked up the tarot cards like back then
Yeah.
and freaked myself out and didn't pick them up again for another 15, 18 years,
I can
So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I can definitely understand that. And so, I guess I- I've had my Akashic Records accessed a few times, and it's always really interesting.
Mhm.
I discovered that I had been a numerologist in a previous lifetime,
Mm.
and that experience didn't end well for me. I was actually killed for my craft, and it it explained why in this lifetime, for the longest time, I could never figure out why it was so scary for me to introduce myself and to tell people what I did.
Right.
It was really
Right.
frightening. I mean, I could put my hand out and say, "Hey, I'm Ann Perry," but inside I was like, "But please don't ask me what I do," because
Yeah.
I'm not ready to share that, right? I don't want
Yeah.
to get the axe again, sort of thing. But there's a lot of really great healing modalities, and maybe you can talk about that a little bit as to how can we access the Akashic records, and can we clear some of that stuff?
Yeah. And it's interesting because so many times when I have sessions with clients, they talk about how, as I'm giving them the unfolding of, let's say, a particular situation that we're working on, they start to understand and see almost like the story arc. So if you think about a TV
Mhm.
show, how it has a story arc, like
Yeah,
we all have a story arc and that goes over several lifetimes,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's simply just the awareness of whatever it is, whatever fear that is, if
Mhm.
it's guilt or shame, whatever lower energy it is, you can actually see it and understand, oh, okay, well, now I understand why I experienced that in that lifetime and why I'm feeling this way now. And I can now say, okay, well, I don't have to feel that way anymore because it's not true for me right now in this moment.
Right.
And I know that, I've watched, a lot of, your videos as well, and I know there was one question at one point that was about, like, what is the difference between regression and just accessing the Akashic records? And basically, the difference if I'm reading your records for you, you're not going through those traumas again. You're not
Right.
experiencing those lifetimes again. So I'm able to look at it from an observer standpoint,
Mhm.
and I can see what was going on, and I can describe it to you, but I'm describing it to you led by your guides, your angels, and I'm able to basically give it to you in a way that's digestible and that it's not going to cause further trauma, right? And it's not to say that regression does cause that trauma, but if you're just in that space where you're not ready to really dive in, that regression really makes you dive into that, right? So,
Mhm.
and there
Mhm.
is definitely a purpose for that, but there's also a purpose for being able to not have to experience that and just move forward.
I used to do past life regression work. I did
Yeah.
clinical hypnotherapy and such, but I got out of it because to me, watching people go through the trauma of reliving that stuff was just
Yeah.
brutal. And it would help
Yeah.
me understand why they felt the way they did, but I didn't feel that it was overly productive in releasing them from that trauma. The
Right.
cellular memory is so intense. And
Mm.
asking you, I love what you're saying, because asking us to do the past life regression,
Mhm.
um, we're experiencing it all over again, and that just brings it closer, because anything we give our energy, attention, and focus to is going to come closer. So it's like
Exactly.
going for and please don't think I'm damning traditional therapy when I say this, but when you go for therapy, I mean, I have an example. I have a friend who can't afford um, therapy on a regular basis. So
Right.
he will often call the helpline. He says it's so frustrating because every time I call the helpline, I have to repeat my story so that that person's on board. So he said every time I
Yeah.
relive it, I can't release it. I can't get rid of it.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I think it's really a very valid distinction that you're making there. That past life regression is a very different thing than accessing a
it
cash
is.
records and having someone like you look at it and then relay what's important to that person.
Right. And the one place where I think regression can help is, let's say you do get an Akashic record session, and the information, let's say there are bits of information that they're not showing me, which they will do that. So my Akashic guides, my spirit team, they will actually withhold information from me if they're telling me that the client is not ready to see it or ready to hear it yet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So there are certain times when they will actually have me recommend that they do some other therapy, whether it is, a regression, whether it is
Mhm.
Reiki, whether it is, as some other modality that's
Yeah.
going to help sort of dislodge that stuck energy. Because sometimes, especially if it's ancestral, sometimes those ancestral things can be really stuck. I've come across in some of my clearings where, like, we access the ancestors that we're wanting to help clear, and they're like, absolutely not, you cannot see this, and they've bound it, and it's like a giant, like, smoke wall over the information that I can't even
Mhm.
see it. So it's there are certain places where, you kind of have to go at different angles,
Yeah.
just to kind of get to the core of what it is that you're trying to heal and to release. Um, but yeah, it's a really beautiful place to start, because you can resonate with the information and understand, oh yeah, okay, so that's why I've been doing this my whole life.
Mhm.
Cool. I don't have to do that again. I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, that was the old me.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
say, when you're evolving and whatnot, that's the old me. Now there's a new bitch in town, and you might not like her. This is great, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, if you were to have an Akashic record reading, is it possible to identify the choices that your soul has made in terms of career and what your gifts are and your talents? Would somebody
Yeah,
help in that respect?
yeah, absolutely. Those are really big things to be able to find out, and I always say that, people have a tendency to be a little bit timid or scared to
Hmm.
find some of these things out, because they're like, well, what if I'm completely off my path? What if it's something completely different than what I'm doing now? And I always say, whatever your soul has chosen to do in this lifetime, your natural gifts and talents of what you're doing currently right now, as far as a
Hmm.
job or whatever it is,
Hmm.
and those things that really come easily for you, like, your natural spiritual gifts are going to be aligned with what is already, like, super easy and super aligned for you.
Right.
So it's just a matter of being able to be aware of it and sort of
Mhm.
unlocking it in a way. So for me, I had no idea that Akashic records were one of my spiritual gifts. Like, that's where my sort of talents lied. But my guides basically kept on giving me signs of Akashic records. So, like, this was probably, oh god, now we're going on about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
I started getting these signs of Akashic records and videos, YouTube videos, things like that. And I'm like, what? Okay, what is that? What is this all about? So
Mhm.
started investigating, and then read a couple of books, and I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. All right, cool. So, I sat with the information for a little bit, and then when it was the right time, I just got the exact right person in front of me who helped train me to access the records. And from that moment on, it was like, I all I needed to do was be shown how to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
and it was already like, boom, they're already there.
Mhm.
So the gifts that people have are already within them. That's the whole beautiful thing about it, is that it's not like you're just going to all of a sudden just get a gift that you didn't already have, because it's already within you. It's just about sort of unlocking it.
It's so interesting when you say that, because when I do a numerology reading, the way I kind of break it down, it's sort of the same way each time. And I talk about the life path number, and the life path number is the lesson. This big lesson that you've chosen to learn. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's an opposite number that has two or three numbers, whatever, but we explain that. But then when we look at the expression number, which is the examining the full name on the birth certificate, the expression number identifies the talents and the gifts that you brought with you to support you on your journey as your
Ah,
life path number, right?
yeah.
And so for me, that was really enlightening, because I'm a 7 life path number. And so the 7 is someone who kind of likes to be quiet, likes to have time by themselves, be out in nature,
Mhm.
to be able to read a lot, meditate, whatever. But it's also being the spiritual teacher. But I couldn't
Mhm.
have been a good spiritual teacher. I couldn't do this kind of work without my 5 as my expression number,
Right.
because the 5 brings in, I can do podcasts, I can do StreamYard, I can do live TV, whatever. It doesn't matter. None of that phases me.
Yeah.
Without that, I might have really struggled with my purpose to be that spiritual teacher.
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
so many modalities that can help us kind of pick away at it and to find it. But I think one thing that's important to recognize is that everything is in divine timing.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I work with a lot of very old souls. Those are the kind of people that kind of gravitate towards me. I do specialize with Master 11s, and those are the
Mhm.
older souls, but they're always going, what's happening? I don't know what my life purpose is, and I got to find it out, and I got to know now. And
Oh,
it's just time to
right,
find
right.
out. Because in my feeling is that they have so much cellular memory, so many Akashic records, because they've had so many previous lifetimes, they
Mhm.
panic because they know
Mhm.
how this one's going to end.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to die. And what happens if I haven't fulfilled my purpose? So the whole thing, and we can go off in a whole bunny hole on this one, but
True.
because we can, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but the whole thing with the whole life purpose or life path is that people put, I think, way too much emphasis on that and way too much stress on
Mhm.
themselves, because every single moment of every day gives you an opportunity to live out your purpose.
100%.
It's not
Yeah.
the certificate on the wall. It's not the education you're trying to get, right?
Yeah.
It's the contribution you're making to be of service every single day is your purpose in
Mhm.
that moment, right?
And just being of service in one particular way on one particular day could open up an avenue for you that you never would have thought of,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So, I
Yes.
mean, I knew that I was going to be doing this work before I even knew what that was even going to look like. Like I had gotten the message that yes, this is what you're going to be doing. Yes, you're going to be teaching people, you're going to be speaking in front of people, you're going to be doing sessions, and I was like, "Great. Doing what exactly?" I had no
Yeah.
idea. But that's the thing, is that like I had to sit with that information knowing that this is the trajectory, this is where I'm going, but the information was coming to me as it unfolded and as it was in divine timing, as it was the right time for me to be able to have that information and
Yeah.
move forward with it, right? So
Yeah.
so if those of you are out there like waiting and going like, come on, it's time, don't worry, it'll come.
It will,
It'll
and
come.
it will come in absolutely
Yeah.
divine timing. It really,
Yeah.
really does. And
Mhm.
I guess the way I see it is that you can go through your life kicking and screaming. If spirit is calling you and nudging you, and as spirit has done for you and also for myself, to
Mhm.
do this kind of work, don't worry about it if you haven't done it yet, right? But pay attention to the signs that say, oh, right, that's where it is.
Yeah.
So, and if you're fearing it, well, it takes a little bit of time, and you don't have to do it all right now, because whatever you accomplish in this lifetime, you've already determined it. It's
Mhm.
already been decided. The
Mhm.
struggles and the accolades and the successes and all the things that you'll experience, you've decided all that prior to you getting here. So
Yep.
release the need to be panic stricken that you haven't figured it out yet, right? Time is not running out. Time never runs out, right? You
Yes.
will accomplish whatever it is you're supposed to in this lifetime. You have to trust that.
Well, and here's a little mind-blowy thing that
Love mind
always kind of gets people when we're talking about Akashic records, is the fact that time does not exist. And here on earth, we are very bound by time, but in the universe and in the Akashic records, time doesn't exist.
exactly.
So everything is happening simultaneously. You can change the course of the energy from a past life by simply healing it. You can change the course that you are currently on by healing, it's beautiful.
It
It's
is.
really, really beautiful. Yeah.
But we do get way too hung up on time and what needs to be accomplished. And I'm a bad one for it. I really, there's no question I am, but
Oh, I'm guilty too.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
into it, right? Savannah thinks she's guilty. um, and there's also totally get what you mean about a full room. Yeah, absolutely. Ian's here. Hey, Ian. I'm frustrated. And Loaf is teaching me how to be patient and life is, there you hey, Young, life is teaching me how to be patient while it unfolds. That's amazing. That's awesome. I love that. So, and Shamil is here from Holland. That's pretty cool. Rose
Hi.
is here. Hey, Rose. I am from South Carolina. Yeah, Gail. That's Gail. That's Dr. Gail behind Skywalking with Moon. If you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, you need to. She's got some really cool cool videos, and she's going to be a guest speaker in my Master 11 membership.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, Gail.
Yeah.
I will.
She's so awesome. She's just great. I just love her. Anyway, yeah. So further to this, hang on. Let me just get all my banners and stuff going here. Let's see this. Okay, there you go. So if you guys want to learn more about Akashic Records, if you want to hang out with us live, if you want to have a really fun afternoon, you may want to check out my website, AnnPerryNumerologist.com/master11-overview. Now, understand one thing, guys. The Master Number 11 membership was opened to support Master Number 11s. And then I've evolved this membership 3 years now, and it's screaming at me, I need to open the doors to everybody. So the name of the membership is going to change very soon. But right now it's still referred to as Master Number 11 membership, but it's open to anyone and everyone who wants to join. We do a live event every single month where you attend live. It's recorded. If you can't make the live, there's a PDF document that follows it. There's MP4 audio that follows it as well. There's like 40 master classes already in the membership that go anywhere from physical development, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychic, how to clear your aura, how to clear your home, how to smudge properly. I've got native elders in there. I've got, oh man, like past life regression we talked about, all kinds of cool stuff. So anyways, it's in there. So you want to check it out. The other reason I want you to check it out is because right now you can get into the membership for $65 for the entire year. That's $5.41 a month. Man, you can't buy a coffee for that at Starbucks anymore.
Yeah.
And it also gives you access to my course, Uncover Your Life Purpose. It's a $47 course. You get that for free, or you can join for $11 a month. It's entirely up to you. But the price when the membership changes over is going up significantly. So if you want in now, you get in now and you have this price for the rest of your life. Okay, it will never go up for you. So I would really encourage you to take a look at it. If you are serious about evolving, if you're really serious, if 2022 is your year and you're saying, "Frig it, I'm so done with trying to figure out my life out. I'm so done being left in the ethers." Like, this is the year, right? 2022. It's a 6 universal year. It is time to step it up, to take responsibility for who you are, right? So I would love to have you in there. I want you to check out infinitesoullove.com. That's Annette's website. She's offering Akashic record readings. She's offering spiritual guidance. She's got all kinds of cool stuff on her website. You need to check it out and follow her. Where else can they find you on social media?
I'm on all social media. So I focus a lot on TikTok nowadays.
Okay.
So on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube,
Okay.
I'm at Infinite Soul Love 1111.
Cool.
So you can find me at any of those platforms. I'm not as active on YouTube just yet. So you can follow me on the other 3 platforms.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. So we are going to be going live I forgot to create a banner for that. Look at that. Oh my. Anyway, I can tell you. It's this.
Get out your pen and paper.
That's right. Pen and paper. Yeah. That pen, it kind of looks like this sort of thing, and the paper sort of looks like this. I know. Anyway, I goofed, but it is going to be on Monday, the 25th of April at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You've got to join the membership to be able to get into the program. This is going to be a 2-part discussion, guys. So get in, because it's going to blow your mind. And that's going to be teaching us how to access the Akashic Records. She's going to be showing us what we need to do and how do we trust that we're actually talking to the guides and what does it look like and what else are you
Yeah.
going to share with us?
Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to meet your Akashic guide, because everybody has an Akashic guide.
Cool.
And I'm also going to help you understand, like, what is a soul contract and how to clear them, and how and why we would want to clear our ancestral lines. We're going to talk about the difference between your soul purpose and your life's purpose, because they can be similar, but they are different sometimes. So sometimes the reason why you're here right now in this lifetime is a part of your soul purpose, but it is different than maybe, let's say, any of the other life purposes you've had. So we can kind of dive into that. We're going to be diving into all kinds of different subject matters when it comes to the Akashic Records. And so definitely over the course of the next couple of weeks, write down all of your questions, because we'll be answering those as well.
Absolutely. So good. And it's going to be, like I say, it'll be a live event. It will be recorded. So I just have a couple of questions here. If you got a few more minutes here, Annette, I'd
Yeah,
like
of
to
course.
run through these. I feel like selling my soul, the frustration is too much. Young is saying that. Maybe Young, you'll gain a lot if you attend this event in terms of being able to access your Akashic Records, and there's the information is there and it's real, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might be suffering from a lack of information that's what
Yeah.
what's causing this. Savannah says, my father passed April 4th. I'm sorry to hear that, Savannah.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Can you inherit some spiritual gifts after a parent dies?
So it is less of an inheritance of spiritual gifts. It's more, I find that a lot of times our spiritual gifts are triggered
Mm-hmm.
by life trauma. Sadly, it has to happen that way a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, because what happens is the trauma actually triggers some things that are within you that need to be looked at. So let's say they are emotions or energies that you've had since you were a child,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't know that they were literally lodged in your body somewhere in your energetic field,
Yep.
and having that trauma sort of dislodges them and helps you to clear them a little bit. Because here's the thing, we're always clearing our energy on a regular basis. We're clearing past lives on a regular basis. We don't even realize we're doing it. It's just part of
Yep.
our trajectory and what we do. So and I can relate, because my father just passed in December of this past year. So I'm right there with you. I understand what it's like. And yeah, there were a lot of things that came up for me, as far as like various different things I hadn't dealt with, and different things in regards to my relationship with him, and quite frankly, still working through a lot of that stuff. And the more you're able to sort of lighten your energy from any of those sort of negative belief systems, anything that you sort of held on to from childhood, and then even from past lifetimes. So if you had a past life with your father, there could be some of that as well that you might be working through. Whether it is in the positive or the negative, it doesn't matter. It's not about necessarily bringing up just the bad things. It's bringing up all of the good memories and all of those things as well. It's sort of this overall cleansing of the past, right? And understanding that what is really meant to happen in this moment is for you to be able to access this particular gift. So as Anne was saying earlier, divine timing, right? So divine timing has a lot to do with it, and within that divine timing, your soul already knew that your dad was going to pass. Your soul
Yeah.
already knew that. So basically it was like, okay, that's a really good time for us to clean some stuff up, and then you're going to level up basically in your spiritual gifts. So I hope that answers that.
Yeah, I love that. It's my mother. I was sharing with you, Annette, earlier that my husband and I are looking at making a rather large purchase,
Mm,
and it's a large purchase, right? It's gonna be a lot of money and a
yeah.
big commitment and all that kind of stuff. So my mother has been gone since 2016, but when mom shows up in two ways. She shows up with blowing cigarette smoke in my face, right? Uh, or she will show up as an eagle. That's why I've got my little
Oh, wow.
little
Yeah.
eagle. on my arm.
Beautiful.
It shows up like that. So in the last couple of days, she's been blowing smoke in my face again. So I feel like it's just like, would you just, just do it, just do it, just do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Really speaking to me through the birds. Now, I didn't have any of that prior to her passing. So this is, I don't think, an additional gift, but I do believe that these things are things that nurture the gifts I already had
Yeah,
and help you,
100%.
right? Push
Yeah,
it. So
absolutely.
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff coming in here. Oops, there's Christine. Hey, Christine, awesome. But here now, meeting me exactly where I'm at. I'm so grateful. Need to book a session. You absolutely do. Nadia is here too. Hey, Nadia, what does it mean that
Hi.
I'm entering a detached witness state, or can it be answered on Master 11? Meaning in our event, because Nadia is one of the members of the membership.
What is it? So you're asking what it means to be in detached witness state?
Mm-hmm. That's the
Okay.
question.
So that's a big one. Yeah, we will cover we hadn't slated to cover that in the two sessions, but we absolutely can, because it is important from the standpoint of being able to be an observer in your life in general,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're talking about your everyday life and being able to handle certain situations, so let's say you're talking to your boss and your boss starts yelling at you, and as opposed to being reactive, to be able to sort of go within, be in your mindfulness state and sort of stand outside of yourself almost, to be able to say, okay, cool. So he's really irritating me right now. And okay, so he's irritating me because of this, this, and this. All right, cool. I'll deal with that later. I'll respond to him now the way that I need to in order to get out of the situation. So then I can go back and take a look at these things and what is actually triggering me in this situation. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the basic of it. Okay. So that's the simple answer of how you would actually use that tool. And that's a tool for you to use like anytime. So anytime you find yourself in a challenging situation, you can actually just imagine yourself being the observer and saying, okay, well, okay, how can I take a step back
Mm-hmm.
and figure out where this trigger is coming from? So when it comes to doing that in the Akashic Records, it's very much the same thing, except for on a much grander scale. So if you would imagine yourself sort of standing outside of an entire lifetime and being able to sort of watch it like a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is to watch without judgment. And that's the biggest thing, is because we cannot judge ourselves for anything that we've done in the past, because the one thing you'll find out in this
Yeah.
series is that we've all done everything. We
Yeah.
have all been the bad guy, we've all been the good girl, we've all been every sort of um gray area in the spectrum and on both ends, right? Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to experience everything there is to experience on this planet. So,
And it's all
um,
in the point of
yeah,
evolution. We have to accept that, and that's the big message I've been trying to drive home to everybody this year. 2022 adds up to the 6, right? And
yeah,
the 6 is about responsibility, but it's also about judgment and releasing
mhm,
that need for judgment, projecting your fears onto others, but actually accepting everybody for who they are in this moment, because every one of
yes,
us has a different soul's contract, and every one of us is at a different place in terms of our evolution, our own personal evolution. So how can you possibly judge another? You know,
right,
so
right,
it's very important. But this whole thing of being the witness is fascinating to me, because I got a little crappy thing I'm working on. My grandmother, when I was about 9 years old, told me I was a stupid child,
mm,
and that has scarred me like really deep, like really really deep. I hear it all the time, right?
yeah,
And so when I was in Jamaica, 2 weeks ago, which is where my family's from, that little ghost kept popping her head up all over the place.
yeah, yeah,
And I recognized that into that, like, here we are in 2022. It's 3 number 2s, people, right? It's 3 number 2s, triple sensitivity, triple the
mhm,
need for validation, and
uh-huh,
it was a huge trigger for me. And I had
Yeah.
a big falling out with a family member. It was only like a 2-day thing, but it hurt. It was really bad. But you know
Mhm.
what? You have to feel it in
Yeah.
order to heal it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to observe it, heal it, and heal it
Yes.
first, right?
And also recognize the belief system that isn't yours. So basically, when your grandmother said that to you, that was her handing you her luggage, and you said, "Cool, I'll take your luggage," and you carried it with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
And and it's funny because like I had a very similar thing happen to me recently, where I started realizing that I had a professor in school because I was in design school. So I got accepted in into the art program directly, but
yeah.
I had to take one English class, and he basically said, "Well, you know, you got into this university by the skin of your teeth, didn't you? Because you certainly can't write."
Wow.
And that was something that
Ooh,
I exactly what you did.
yeah.
I took that luggage he gave me, and I'm like, "Cool, I'm not a writer." And I just continued on, and it just literally it just dawned on me, like, a couple of weeks ago, not even, that I'm like, "Hey, that's probably not true." And I've been hanging on to this for decades
A
because
big
of one
bullshit moment.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the one thing the one person said to me, and
yeah,
who knows, he may have been having a bad day, he might I mean, who knows? Maybe I was a crappy writer for that one particular paper that I had written for him
yeah.
because I was probably sleep deprived and I was in fact in college and I was 18. So, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. But like
It's like
it's one of those things where you gotta yeah, you gotta be able to let that baggage go.
it's like he planted a seed and you decided to fertilize it.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know, you chose
Yeah.
to grow it, right?
Yeah.
That's the truth of it. And now we have to
Yeah.
forgive ourselves because, in my case, I was only 9 years old. What the heck did I know,
Yeah.
right? That must have been true. It was my grandmother. She told me that. So
Right,
it's
right.
a tough one, right? But I guess I'm not trying to make this all about me, but I was trying to kind of roll it into the fact that when we come into May of this year, May is a five,
Mm,
like fifth month, right? And
mhm,
2002 adds up to 6. Add the 2 together, and now we're coming into an 11, an 11 vibration for May
mhm,
in 2022, right?
mhm.
So we got a lot of 2 energy. So you guys, you got to be really careful. I mean, because your sensitivity is going to be an all-time high. The triggers are going to be like boom, boom, boom. For me, it was just
Mhm.
like constant alert, waiting for the attack, not realizing that all I wanted was to be validated. And once
Yeah.
I got through that, the
Yeah.
validation, it was like, wow, what a healing moment. Like huge healing moment happened for me when I was away. But I think it's very, very important for us to recognize that going into it, that when the triggers happen, do not stuff them down. Don't sweep them under
Mm-mm.
the carpet. Don't make them go away. Don't go, oh, I can't deal with. Look at it, because when those triggers come up, they're gems. And it's so easy.
Yes.
If you'll just all we want is validation. That's all. Just
And
be
can I
validated.
and can I give you a tool, and can I give everybody a tool
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
to how to deal with that on a regular basis, because it's a really powerful way of changing the energy. And like I was talking about earlier about time not existing, right? And that everything is sort of happening simultaneously. This
Yep.
is something that you are able to do within your own Akashic records without even really accessing them. This is an energetic thing. So you can simply go to that moment. If you're in a meditation, just close your eyes, go into that moment where that particular thing happened. So for you, it was your grandmother saying what she did.
Yeah.
And just imagine yourself as that little 9-year-old child. And imagine yourself saying to her, "You know what, grandma? I'm not. I'm actually really smart. And I'm sorry that you feel this way right now. And is there something that is going on with you that maybe you want to express to me?" You
Mhm.
know? And you can sort of hold your 9-year-old child's hand, the 9-year-old
Mhm.
you, and have this conversation with your grandma and change the energy, you know? And it doesn't matter if they've passed on or not. It is just a way to change the energy for you. So moving forward, you no longer have to hold on to that.
I'm laughing because I kind of thank you for that. I'm
Yeah.
laughing because I kind of did that, but I didn't do it quite so kindly as you did. I have to say, when the trigger hit and it was kind of explosive, I think I dropped her a whole bunch of f bombs. To be honest,
Sure, yeah, that happens too. I mean, you know, I
you know, I mean, it was clear, right? I didn't like her either. Like let's call
yeah,
it
yeah,
for
yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. He's right here.
Yeah,
Oh
100%.
my. Anyway, but we're so happy you guys have all joined us today. This is great. There's lots more where this came from. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're checking out Annette on her website, infinitesoullove.com.
Yep.
InfiniteSoulLove.com, yes. And check her out, book a reading, do whatever you can do. Join us, join us, join us. Seriously, this is going to be so good. I cannot wait to take
I
this.
can't wait. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, Monday the 25th. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and there's gonna be a Zoom link that gets sent out to all the members, so you'll know what's going on. You'll know how to get into it all. It's super easy. And like I said, we've got the special on right now, $65 for a whole year. If you miss that special, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to cost you a heck of a lot more after the fact. So you want to get in on that price now because that'll lock it in for life. So any new members get locked in for life. So. Looking forward to seeing you. Hey, Karen Cartier, good to see you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow too. Karen's one of our numerology keeners. She's doing all my numerology courses. So
Ooh, nice.
good to see you too, Gail. So glad you're able to drop by, and can't wait to see you as a guest in our membership. Gail is an expert in how to communicate with extraterrestrials. So
Ooh,
it's going to be the coolest. I'm telling you, I'm really pumped.
very cool. Yeah.
The next couple of months, we'll get that out there as well. So
Nice.
yeah. So thanks, Nadia. Good to see you, hon. Good to see everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, we're going to sign off for now, but we look forward to seeing you in the group. And hey, Jennifer, all the way from PEI. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you learned something today. Maybe you're inspired to learn a little bit more. So I hope to see you next Monday. Any questions, feel free to post them again on the feed here. We'll do what we can to answer them a little bit later on today. Take care, guys. Stay amazing. Love you all. Group hug. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye for now.